So where can you buy meat rabbits for breeding, and what should you be looking for? Hi everybody, welcome to Living Traditions Homestead. My name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be answering some of your questions that I've been receiving about how to get started raising meat rabbits. And a few of the very common questions that I get are, what kind of rabbits do we raise? In general, what breeds of rabbits work well for meat rabbits? Where do you get the rabbits from, your breeder rabbits, and what should you be looking for when you go to buy your breeder rabbits? So I hope to answer all of those questions for you today in this video. So what are the main meat rabbit breeds? There are 4 main breeds that are generally recognized as meat rabbits. New Zealand's that are generally considered New Zealand whites, but New Zealand's actually come in several different colors. Californian rabbits are another one, the silver fox rabbits, and the Flemish rabbits. On our homestead, we actually raise crossbreeds of New Zealand rabbits and Californian rabbits. We really love those. To be honest, we just never tried any others, have been really happy with what we're raising, and so have stuck with that. So where can you find these rabbits to get started breeding your own meat rabbits? I've heard this question so many times, and there are actually several answers. When we were first starting out, we looked into buying our breeder rabbits from an actual rabbit farm. And first of all, those that we contacted weren't really interested in selling their breeding stock because, number one, they're busy breeding their own, and I think that maybe they didn't really want to have any kind of competition. So they didn't really want to sell us any, and those that were available were very expensive and were papered or registered, and for the kind of breeding that we do to raise rabbit meat just really for our family, we do sell some, but we don't need pedigreed rabbits. We ended up buying our breeding stock off of Craigslist. They weren't the best things, but they were affordable, and it gave us the opportunity to breed for what we liked. So even though we didn't get the best of the best, over time we were able to breed the best for our circumstances, pick and choose those rabbits that had big litters, that were great mothers, that had beautiful nests, and were resilient to whatever type of weather situation we were in at the time. Other options, if you can't find a breeder, if you're not finding what you're looking for on Craigslist or other kinds of internet ads, I suggest looking at the high schools that have agricultural programs or FFA programs. Contact them to see if any of the students there are raising rabbits for meat, to see if you could buy from them. Similarly, in rural areas, and actually probably in some city areas, there are different 4-H chapters, and rabbit husbandry could be one program within the 4-H that you could contact to see if you could get some breeder rabbits. The final idea that I have is to go to your county fair or your local fairs. They always have rabbits there for judging, and talk with the kids or the people who are showing rabbits to see if they either sell their own rabbits or if they know where you can get rabbits to start breeding them for meat. Now, when you get to the point where you have found someone that is wanting to sell you meat rabbits, what is it that you should be looking for? And there are several things. You really want to make sure that you are at the very least bringing home healthy rabbits. I personally have a preference to bring new rabbits into our rabbitry that are young. I'm looking for somebody who can tell me the birth date so that I can know when I can start breeding them, but I also really don't want to bring old rabbits into my rabbit tree. I want ones that can start breeding right away, that I can have for a long time, and don't have to worry about if they're too heavy, if they're too fat, if they're too old, if they have behavior problems already. And so my recommendation to you is to get rabbits that are anywhere from just being weaned at 5 weeks old up to about 12 weeks old when they start reaching sexual maturity. That way you also have an opportunity to work with those rabbits if you want them to be a little bit more on the tame side, so you have some time before you start breeding to calm them down a little bit, and so they have time to get used to your living environment, who you are, what you're feeding, those kinds of things before you start breeding and wanting them to start giving birth to babies. Well, I was hoping that I could show you up close and personal some of the things that you should be looking for, but these young rabbits are just not cooperating with me. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the things that you need to be looking for. Now, the first thing that you need to do is inspect the rabbit's eyes. Make sure they're not goopy, that they're not crusty around the eyelids. Look inside the ears. Check for ear mites. Now, ear mites aren't the worst thing in the world. You can take care of them, but you sure don't want to bring that onto your rabbit tree and expose the rest of your rabbits to that. It's just setting you up for not a good situation right off the bat. Take a look at their feet. Every one of their feet you should look at, the bottoms, to make sure they don't have any sores from cages with wire bottoms, that they don't have an opportunity to get off of the wire onto a board or something like that, or maybe the cage wire is not a large enough gauge. Have them show you the rabbit's genitals. I know that sounds weird and kind of faux pas, but you want to make sure that they're clean. Ask them to show you that that rabbit is either a male or female, whichever they say. Now, I have a video that shows you how to determine if a rabbit is a male or a female, but the younger they are, the harder it is to tell. So make sure you're having a conversation with whoever it is that you're buying rabbits from. I'll go ahead and put a link to that video right up here. Another very important thing to look for when you're looking for rabbits is their teeth. Now, rabbits have, well, they have back teeth, but what you're looking for is their front teeth. How the front two teeth on the bottom and the top are growing. You need to make sure that neither of them are twisted, that they're all growing straight up and down, and that they're not completely overgrown. That's very important. Make sure that they're not just broken off. I actually had a really bad experience buying one rabbit that I didn't notice when we got until we got home, that both of her teeth, her top teeth, had actually been broken off somehow. Now, they did regrow, but that was something that I wasn't very happy about, but was really my fault for not checking. So make sure you're checking their teeth to make sure that they're healthy and that there's no indication of any kind of genetic issue. The last thing that I suggest that you check out on each rabbit before you take them home is their back end. Now, here we go again, right? That's not very glamorous to look at the back end of an animal, but you want to know if they are coming to your house with diarrhea. You don't want to see any caking of feces or anything like that on the back end of that rabbit. That tells you that that rabbit is very unhealthy, could have coccidiosis, and any number of other health issues. And I guess the last thing that you should be looking for or aware of with the rabbits is if they have a cough or the sniffles. Be around those rabbits long enough for them to, run around a little bit in their cage or whatever, so you can hear if they have a cough. If they are sneezing a lot. Sneezing can be caused by, allergies or dust or, something not very serious, but it also can be an indication that the rabbit is not very healthy. So what questions should you make sure to ask the person that you're taking the rabbits home from? You need to know what kind of food they're being fed. You need to know the level of protein within the rabbit pellets that those rabbits are getting, because you can't change that quickly or they will get diarrhea. So if they're on a 16%, stick with that. If you want to raise that to a 17% or an 18%, that's okay, but you need to do that over time. What kind of hay are they getting, if any? Is it Timothy hay? Is it just grass hay? And have they been exposed to or given any kind of fresh grass or pasture? You'll want to know those so that you can gradually add those things into your rabbit's diet rather than just all of a sudden jumping into it and then potentially causing them some stress on their body. So I hope this answered some of your questions. And if you have any other questions, you make sure you let me know, put them in the comment section below. I love to hear from you, and I love to get ideas of how to help you guys become more self-sufficient and grow rabbit meat for you and your family. If this is the first time that you have joined us, it is the perfect time for you to hit the subscribe button below. If you loved this video, go ahead and share it. We would love that. Until next time, you guys, thank you so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.